All right, so we are going to do our review, what you know, looking for the best terms. In the equation, 80 divided by 10 equals 8. The number 80 is we call that the dividend. Dividend. I'm going to use these vocabulary words, so you need to know what I'm talking about. The number used to divide another number is called the divisor. Divisor. And the result of dividing two numbers is the quotient. Remainder would be what was left over after you divided if it was not a problem that went in evenly. So the next couple problems, we're going to actually do some dividing. So we can use facts that you already know in the fact families. 63 divided by 9. And here, if you need to go to a table, you can use a math multiplication table to help you with division. So we're looking at 9. How many times does 9 go into 63? So we just take a row or a column, whatever you feel, whatever you'd rather do. Go over starting at the 9. Oops, let me get back there. Starting at the 9, you're going to scoot over until you hit to 63. And I keep doing that again. And then you go up to the top. And so we start at 9, skip count till we get to 63, and then we go up to the top and we see it's 7. So we know that 9 times 7 is 63, and we have to annex a 0 there because it wasn't 63, it was 630. For the next one, 6 goes into 48. Again, you can look at your math facts, look at the 6 times tables until you get to 48 and go up to the top, and you can see it's an 8 if you don't know your math facts. And again, we need to get that 0 over there because it wasn't really 48, it was 480. For the next one, there's a couple ways we can do some shortcut on this. And for those of you that are not familiar with the division algorithm, we'll go through that. We should have reviewed it. You should have reviewed it last week and on Monday, but or we should have reviewed it previously in the assignments, but we're going to use the steps: divide, multiply, subtract, compare, and bring down. And sometimes teachers use the mnemonic, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers will help you remember the first letter in all the steps. Does, divide, McDonald's, multiply, sell, subtract, cheeseburgers, check or compare, and the burger is bring down. So we're going to do the steps. We take a 5 and we divide it into 7. How many times does 5 go into 7? It goes 1 time. So we divided. Now we're going to multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. So we multiplied. Now we're going to subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. We subtract. We're going to compare, make sure that our remainder is less than our quotient that we put up at the top, and it is. So our compare works, and then we're going to bring down the next digit. So we're not done. We did that one time. We have to go back and do it again because we've got some more dividing to do. Now our eyeball is going to say 5. How many times does 5 go into 25? And if you look back at your chart, you look at the row of 5s, you know 5 goes into 25 5 times. So that's our divide. Oops. We did the divide. We do the multiply. We do the subtract. We do the compare. Yep. 0 smaller than 5, so we're good. And then we bring down the next digit. Now we have to do a third division. Does 5 go into 5? Divide 5 into 5, it goes in once. We divide. We multiply. We subtract. We compare. And there's nothing to bring down. And our problem ends because we have a 0 remainder. So it's equals 151. For the next one, Number 7, we have 9 into 6, 5, 7. Now let's take a look at our chart again. 9 into 65. So I take my eyeball and I start at the 9, and I'm going to go across. Ooh, I'm drawing. I didn't mean to be doing that. I go across 9 until I am less than 65. So here's the digit that's less than 65. And then with my eyeball, I go up. And so 9 goes into 65 7 times. And when I come back here, 9 goes to 65 7 times. So I'm dividing. That's my D. I multiply. That's my M. I subtract. Compare. Looks good. And then I bring down the 7. Now I have another division problem to do. 9 goes into 27. If I look back at my chart, I know 9 times 3 is 27. So I divide, I multiply, I subtract, I compare, and bring down, and that problem is done. Now for number 8, we have a multiplication problem. 57 times 13. 7 times 3 is 21. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 2 is 17. Now I'm going to distribute the 1, which is actually a 10. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 5 is 5. I'm going to add up the partial products. So I have 741 for number 8. And for number 9, I have 109 times 71. 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. I know 109 times 1 is 109. I didn't have to go through all that. But now I'm going to distribute the 7, which is actually 70. 7 times 9 is 63. Carry the 6. 7 times 0 is 0 plus 6. And 7 times 1 is 7. Add up my partial products. And my answer is 7,739. Okay, for the next ones, for the state fair, 132 people volunteered, and they're going to be put in 12 equal groups. How many people are in each group? If we go back to our math, if we go back to our chart over here, let's see if I can, this is not being cooperative. There we go. Now I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so we have 13 goes into, oops, sorry about that. 13 or 12 goes into 132. If I'm using my chart, I look at the 12, and I'm going to go across until I get to 132, and there I am, and I look up, and it is 11. So 12 goes on to 132 11 times. So I have 11 people in each group. Next one, a town is holding a competition for various athletic games. Each community has 14 players. There are 112 communities competing in the games. How many players are competing? 112 times 14. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. And 14, we're distributing the 10 now. Put a 0 down. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And I've got my answer is B. Last one. A county has a goal to build 12,000 bus stop shelters in 48 months. If the county builds 215 bus shelters each month, will it reach its goal? So our problem is we're going to, and we want to be able to estimate. The actual problem would be 100 or 215 shelters for 48 months. Is that going to be, are we going to be meeting our goal of 12,000? So there's a couple things you can do on this. You got to be careful. So if we estimate 200 times 50 and we get 10,000, we know that we have the 200 is decrease and the 50 is increase. So I'm not sure if that's an overestimate or underestimate. Actually, no, it's going to be an underestimate. So I can tell right away that we're not going to get our goal. If you could also bring this to 220 times 50. Oops. If you want to try to get a little bit closer, to get 11,000. So even when we get even closer with our rounding and our estimating, we're still below the 12,000. All right, so there you go. Get ready for some division. Woohoo!